1 year ago, I quit my job as a software engineer at Garmin, where I was making almost a six-figure salary 1 year out of college, and became a triathlon coach with NVDM and started training full-time for swim, bike, and run. And today, I'm going to be telling you exactly how much money I made last year. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is going to be a little bit of a different video, as you can probably tell from the title and the thumbnail. I'm not going to be showing any triathlon footage or racing footage, or maybe I will as some B-roll, but I'm not going to be training too much in this video. Now, today, I wanted to, kind of talk to you about the pros, the cons, the highs, and the lows of going from, as I mentioned, a very secure, stable, prestigious, some might say, job working as a full-time software engineer at Garmin, which was pretty much my dream job coming out of college, actually. If you would have told me as a junior that I was gonna be working on fitness watches in the leading company, or in the company that was leading that space, I would have said, you're crazy. That's exactly what I wanted to do coming out of college. And well, I was lucky enough to land a job at Garmin. And then, pretty much 1 to 2 years later, after working there, I quit and became a coach, a triathlon coach, which may not sound as prestigious to quite a few of you out there. And I thought today I'd talk to you about it, let you know the highs, the lows, what has gone well, what hasn't gone well. So I'm gonna split up this video into I'll split up into 3 parts. The first will be the cons of leaving Garmin and going full-time, kind of self-employed, working with NVDM and overtraining full-time. Then the next part will obviously, naturally, will be the pros, all the positives. And then at the end of this video, I will give you a number. I will tell you exactly how much money I made from coaching. I've seen quite a few of these type of videos on YouTube from other professional triathletes, from other content creators on YouTube, and I don't know, I thought it'd be interesting, and hopefully this video will get a lot of views and will get me closer to 1,000 subscribers. Speaking of views and YouTube and money, I've not made any money from this YouTube channel. I have made some money from my Fast Foodies YouTube channel. I make about 30 bucks a month, which covers the cost of the weekly crumble cookie reviews, and that's about it. And so if you want to help me out, support this channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Hopefully we can get to 1,000 subscribers here relatively soon, and I can start monetizing, and maybe this will start covering my nerdy nut expense. Speaking of which, if you want to pick up some delicious peanut butter for yourself, or you want a really cool hat like this one, go ahead and do your taste buds a favor, shout out to Gabe, and pick up some nerdy nuts. Code FASTFOODIES10 to save. Link will be in the description box below. And I also have pretty much all of my discount and affiliate links in the description box. Remember, anytime you purchase anything using any of those links, you are supporting me, or codes rather, and I truly do appreciate it. All right, now that I've done all my plugging and my advertising, let's get on with the main part of this video, starting off with the cons of leaving Garmin. Now, before I start, even though I just said let's get started, I do want to preface this video by saying 2 things. First, my experience at Garmin was incredible. I couldn't have asked for a better first job, for a better job, real world job. The people I worked with, the company itself, honestly, I think I said this in the video that I made when I first left Garmin. The culture of the people, it was honestly, yeah, like I said, I couldn't have asked for a better first job, and I have nothing but positive things to say about the company. If you're ever interested in working for Garmin, I would 10 out of 10 highly recommend at least applying. Yeah, and I will always say, or for now at least, that Garmin wearables are the best out there. If you want a smartwatch that does fitness stuff, yeah, go ahead and get an Apple Watch. But if you want a true fitness watch, if you call yourself a triathlete, if you call yourself an athlete, then get yourself a Garmin. I know there's other brands out there, but Garmin does it the best. They're not the cheapest, but they do it the best. And I also want to give a big thank you to my coach and my boss, Natasha. I'm going to be talking about her in the pros of this video, but yeah, Natasha, thank you for giving me this opportunity to come on as a coach and a full-time athlete with NVDM. I will forever be grateful for that. Right, so what are some of the cons of leaving Garmin and working full-time as a coach? Well, the first is obviously the monetary part of it. As I told you, or as I said at the beginning of it, I wasn't making six figures, but I was making a pretty darn good salary. And along with the salary, or I guess the monetary part of it isn't the biggest downside, it's all the benefits that came working at Garmin. You know, you get the 401k, you know, the stock purchase plan, the health insurance, that's a big part. Luckily, I'm young enough that I'm still on my parents' health insurance plan as of now, but I think after you turn like 25 or 26 here in the United States, you have to get your own. Yeah, so those are probably the biggest benefits working at Garmin. Just having all of those different streams of revenue or savings, whatever you want to call it. Being self-employed, I don't have the 401k, the employee stock purchase plan, so I really have to do a lot more saving myself. You know, it's not just, you know, click a button here and X amount of your salary goes into your savings every month or every paycheck. So yeah, that's probably one of the biggest cons. Another con is the taxes. You would think that, you know, being self-employed, the government would help you out a bit and yeah, have you pay less taxes. It's the exact opposite. I'm paying so much more in taxes, it's ridiculous. Yeah, there's really nothing else to be said there. You would hope that, I was hoping since I would be making a bit less money that I would pay less in taxes, but somehow I'm not. I'm paying a lot more in taxes now. So that's quite a big downside, but it is what it is. The third con that I want to talk about is my identity. You know, my dad's gonna get mad at me for saying so many times during this video, but when you're working at Garmin, you're kind of forced to have, well, I was gonna say you're kind of forced to have a work-life balance, but that's one of the reasons why I quit Garmin, was because I wasn't having a work-life balance. It was all life, as in triathlon life, and yeah, I wasn't balancing the two very well. But regardless, when you're at Garmin, you still have an outlet. You know, I had my training, and then I would go to work, and it wasn't triathlon. Well, it kind of was, since I was working on somewhat of triathlon features on some of the watches. But still, you know, I was talking with other people that weren't always doing swim, bike, and run. I wasn't swim, biking, and running for that time. I was sitting at a desk coding. Yeah, so I kind of had two different identities almost. There's the Garmin software engineering Parker, and then there was the triathlon training Parker. And now with coaching, there's training Parker. It's just me. It's just training triathlon Parker. Now I do have my YouTube channel, which is something that, or one of the reasons why I started actually, was so, you know, it wouldn't be 100% triathlon. And so I do my editing, stuff like that. So that definitely does help. Yeah, my life is pretty much triathlon now. And so when I do get an injury, when I can't do triathlon, it sucks a bit more than it used to. I'll tell you that much. When I get injured, you can just talk to anyone that's around me when I'm injured. I'm pretty much a different being. If I can't, especially run, yeah, it's not good. I have gone to see a psychiatrist. I've gone to see a therapist about this. because my identity truly is wrapped up in triathlon. And, you know, that's another reason why I have the Foodie YouTube channel too, Fast Foodies. It helps when everything you do is swim, bike, run related. You know, I'm training, and then I'm looking at my athletes' workouts that are swim, bike, running, and then I'm looking at my own workouts that are swim, bike, and running. Then I'm thinking about what my next swim, bike, or run is going to be, and it can get a little all-consuming at times, but I'm trying to balance it more with other stuff. And so, yeah, but that is an ongoing project. I think the last con I want to talk about concerning leaving Garmin and starting coaching full-time is definitely it kind of goes along with the identity one, but my social life isn't as, well, I didn't really have a social life at Garmin either. I lived in Kansas, about 30 minutes outside of Kansas City. I think the only time I went out to Kansas City was when my mom came to visit me and we went out for dinner in Kansas City. I think I went out one time in over a year of living and working there. So that tells you how much of a social life I had. But still, you know, I met up with others, talking with others in the office. That was very nice here. My office is, well, you're looking at it. And so I'm definitely not interacting with others as much. Although I say that, but you know, I'm about to go swim in an hour here with a buddy of mine, with two buddies of mine actually. And then, you know, yesterday I ran with a friend, I'm biking with others. And so I kind of say it's just, you know, during the day as a whole, I probably am interacting with others a little bit less. I have a few less friends that are swim, bike runners. I pretty much have no friends that are all my friends are pretty much swim, bike runners. So there's that part to it too. But like I said, I'm still, you know, it's not like I live under a rock the entire day. So yeah, take that for what you will. Right, so now that the first part of the video is done, I say we move on to the second part and talk about all the pros about leaving Garmin and going full-time over training and coaching with NVDM coaching. And the first pro and the most obvious is probably, well, I get to train whenever I want to. I can spend, well, not my entire day training, but I think yesterday on a Thursday, I logged close to 6 hours of training. And yeah, when I was at Garmin, I could do that, but another impressive stat is the sleep. I was able to get 8 hours of sleep. And at Garmin, I would not have been able to get 8 hours of sleep and train for 6 hours. I was trying to do that, but I was training for 6 hours and I was sleeping for 4 hours. You know, I was getting up at 4 a.m. when I was working at Garmin trying to train. And I'm training maybe a little bit more than I was at Garmin, but I'm sleeping so much more. Honestly, that's probably the biggest pro. Yeah, the sleep. Being able to sleep, because you can only train as hard as you can recover. And there are two major factors that go into recovery: sleep and nutrition. And so being a full-time athlete, I can sleep a lot more, which has been great. My performance has greatly improved. And also my nutrition has improved. And I think a big reason behind that is, well, besides living at home and, you know, having access to my mom's cooking, is I have more time to plan and prepare my meals. You know, when I was working at Garmin, I was getting up at 4, training from literally, my fastest transition time from bed to trainer was 8 minutes. So I'd be on the bike by, you know, 4:10, then I would train until 7, be in my car by 7:10, like literally I'd shower, get in the car, be at work by 7:30, and my breakfast was, you know, pre-made oatmeal that I made. Not saying oatmeal is bad or anything, but I wasn't eating nearly enough, and I wasn't getting in all the proper nutrients that I needed to, and that has definitely changed since quitting Garmin. So now more time to sleep, more time to eat. That's another part, just the time it takes me to eat 7,000 calories a day. So yeah, those two factors, probably some of the biggest pros in terms of my personal performance. Another pro about being self-employed, now I do have a boss, as I mentioned, Natasha, but I don't have set hours that I need to work. We do have team Zoom calls every now and then. We have coaches calls, you know, every other week. But besides that, I can pretty much work when I want to. I can check Training Peaks in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. which I do. Speaking of which, if you are looking for a coach, my email is in the description box below. I forgot to plug that at the beginning of the video. But yeah, I get to plan my working around my training, which is awesome. If it's really nice outside and I want to go for a bike ride, I can go bike ride and then come back and do work later if I wanted to. Whereas at Garmin, you know, I had to be at the office from 8 to 4, 9 to 5, and yeah, I couldn't get around that. Whereas now I have so much more flexibility, and with that, not only like in the office, out of the office, but also just being able to travel. You know, since I do coaching online through Training Peaks, you know, we are based in Austin. That's why I did live in Austin for almost a year. But man, I can go to Europe to visit my family. I can go to visit friends across the country because I can work. I mean, that's why I was able to go to Canada this past summer and train with Jameson. Yeah, I can really work from anywhere. Even though I do prefer, or I love training at home, just having the flexibility of being able to go anywhere, anytime, it really is great. I think that's all I need to say about that. Being able to train when I want, where I want, you can't really beat that, that's for sure. Another reason why I was able to go to that triathlon club in Austria this past summer, where I met Sebastian Kane. Fun fact. The last perk that I want to talk about in this video before I get on to the part that you all clicked on this video for, although if you're watching this entire video just to find out how much money I made, you know, you can scroll through and just click on the end of the video to find out. But the last part of this video that I want to talk about, or the last perk that I want to talk about in this video, is about the relationships I've made through coaching. Now, when I started with Natasha and NVDM, I always knew I would love being a coach. The data side, the analytics behind everything. I mean, even when I was working at Garmin, I was listening to triathlon coaching podcasts 24/7. When I was on the trainer, I was always watching YouTube videos. That's one of the reasons why Natasha offered me this position, because she saw how much I enjoyed the science behind the actual sport of triathlon. And ever since I started working with her, we've always had a very, it hasn't always been a very black and white coach-athlete relationship. There's always been a much more symbiotic, is that the word I'm looking for? I always had a bigger say in the workouts she gives me than I think she would prefer. I'm always throwing her suggestions of workouts I think I should be doing ever since we started. So yeah, it was kind of obvious that I wanted to, or I would enjoy being a coach. So I knew that I was 99% sure I was going to like the coaching part of it. But what I did not expect to become from coaching, or to develop from coaching, or to enjoy from coaching, were the relationships that I have made from coaching. It is safe to say that some of, if not my best friends now, closest friends, are either athletes I coach or fellow NVDM athletes that I've met through triathlon. And I honestly don't think that the relationships that I have with those athletes and my friends now, who I'm blessed enough to call my friends, and other coaches as well on the team, especially Natasha. She's almost like, I mean, I call her my boss, but honestly at this point, she's like a second mom to me. I don't think I go a day without texting or talking or calling her. But the relationships, I probably would have made those relationships also. Well, I know I wouldn't have with my athletes, but with the other, with the athletes I coach. But I'd probably still be friends with the other NVDM athletes and coaches. But I am positive that my relationships would not have been this strong with the other athletes. And I would not have made friends with the athletes I currently coach. And I mean, I call them my athletes, but I mean, it's like with me and Natasha, I have a very similar relationship with a lot of my other athletes. I'm talking to them every day. I'm texting them every day. And it's, yeah, I would have never have imagined how close I am with with all of the athletes I coach. It's been honestly incredible. And, you know, I forget who said the quote, you know, if you if you follow what you're passionate about or something along those lines, you never have to work a day in your life. And it's true. I don't think of, when I think of, oh, I have to go check my athletes' workouts on Training Peaks, it's not like, oh, I have to go work. No, it's like, oh, let's go see if Carl smashed his bike workout or if the bike workout smashed him. Let's go see, what was Michael's lactate on that recent run. How far did Sade make it in his swim before he drowned? That's what I'm thinking when I'm going to go check these workouts. I'm always excited to go do it. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's like, 8 o'clock at night. It's been a long training day. I go on to Training Peaks and I have, 60 Training Peak notifications, half of them coming from Sade from dropping 30 comments onto one workout. And then, having to read an entire book of workout comments talking about how it went and then having to look at all the data and stuff like that. It can get a little bit tiring. It's not always all sunshine and rainbows, but 99% of the time I am logging into Training Peaks, looking at my email and workouts with excitement. I'm truly excited to go and see, the types of workouts that my athletes have completed, the races they did, the personal achievements they set. I mean, how could you not get excited about seeing one of your closest friends just set a new record in a 5K or set, a 30-watt increase in their FTP or, finally learn how to swim? And then the best part about it is after a race, after they do a race, they've been training for so long, you know how much work, all the sacrifices that the athlete has had to make to get to that point. To see all that and then see the result, it really, words can't describe that feeling. And the only thing I can think of that would top it would be when you're at the race itself. When I'm at Ironman Texas, when I was at Ironman Florida, and I was seeing my athletes, or not just my athletes, but all the athletes come across the finish line. And as I mentioned, I know how much work that they've put into the training. I know the sacrifices they've had to make, and being able to witness them cross the finish line and become an Ironman for the very first time, you can't compare it. The personal fulfillment you get from that, it will top any amount of monetary, gain that I would have made staying at Garmin. You can pay me all the money in the world, but being able to witness that, it's life-changing. I mean, and that's why I talk with Natasha all the time. That's why we do this job. I mean, we are truly, truly blessed to be in the position that we are in, that we get to call this our job. This is how we make money. We get to change people's lives. And I know every company says that, oh, we're changing your life. No, but with coaching triathlon, I mean, I know Natasha, she's changed my life. And I'm hoping, and that's my goal, is to have the same positive impact on the people's lives and provide the same opportunity for my athletes that Natasha has provided for me. And that's why at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that I will forever be grateful for the opportunity that Natasha has given me through NVDM. The community she has fostered, the environment, the values that she has instilled in her athletes and her coaches. Like I said, she's my second mom now. I'm just, as you guys can see, it's hard to describe. The only way you can feel this, I guess, feel the emotions that I'm feeling, is by experiencing it. So, I think that's gonna wrap up this video before we get to. It's 4:59 in the morning right now. It's too early to get this emotional. I couldn't. Speaking of being able to sleep as much as you want, that also means you get to go to bed whenever you want. And when you go to bed at 6:30 at night, I guess that's what happens. You wake up at 4:30 and you toss and turn. So you film a YouTube video. Welcome to my life. All right, now that the moment you've all been waiting for, how much money did I make last year working as a coach with NVDM? I made just around $40,000 last year through coaching. At the end of the day, it's not about the money. I don't live a very, expensive lifestyle. I live at home with my parents. That definitely helps a lot. And so I save a lot of money. I've never have been in like financial stress. So I'm very fortunate about that. And as I mentioned, the fulfillment I get out of coaching, I mean, it's just yeah, this is honestly the dream job now, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And that's why I said that leaving Garmin and quitting coaching, or quitting coaching, leaving Garmin, quitting Garmin, starting coaching, it has been the best decision I have ever made. So yeah, that's gonna end it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, leave them down below, right below that description box with all those links that help support me. And I guess we'll catch you in the next one. So I'm currently editing that video, this video, whatever video, the video that you're watching right now. And I realized that there's one more con that I forgot to mention. And that was, or that is rather, that when I was at Garmin, I had a very steady stream of income. Oh, look what came. 8 Sleep. Got a new 8 Sleep mattress. I may not be making a lot of money, but I'm making enough to afford myself an 8 Sleep mattress. As I was saying, I had a very steady stream of income working at Garmin. I knew exactly how much money I was going to make every single month. And now, as a coach, it depends entirely on how many athletes I have. So if you're one of the many people that I've reached out to asking if you need a coach, you kind of know why now. 1 month I could make $2,000. The next month I could make $6,000. Obviously, it's not that variable. I have a general idea of how much I'm going to be making month to month. But yeah, the idea is that the amount of income I'm having or I'm going to get is much more variable now than when I was at Garmin. And I have to work, to go and get the athletes. The athletes don't just all come running towards me. I'm going out on Instagram, Strava, YouTube, asking people if they need coaches. I'm hustling. Now, granted, I enjoy that, but it is something you need to take into account. Oh, and also, 8 Sleep mattress. Let me know if you want to see a review of that. Subscribe if you do. I think I will make a review of what I think of the new AI technology mattress. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, as I mentioned, we'll catch you in the next one.